It's a lovely setting at Durham for this important match between the two top sides. Lumley Castle in the background, always an interesting backdrop. Durham won the toss and invited Yorkshire to bat. The opening 3 runs came in the second over as Rhodes took advantage of a short delivery from Onions. Lees then drove Onions through mid-on for 4, and Rhodes glanced a delivery from Rushworth down to fine leg, also to the boundary. Lees then drove Rushworth through the covers after an over from Onions, which troubled Rhodes with away movement. Rushworth and Onions continued to probe and produce some anxious moments for the Yorkshire pair, but full marks to Rhodes and Lees for dealing with the swinging ball, and after 45 minutes Yorkshire 38 for no wicket. A double bowling change was introduced, Harrison and Hastings taking over from the opening bowlers. Rhodes was given a life after Mitchell put an edge down in the slips off Hastings, and Harrison found the inside edge off Lees, but the ball sped away for 2 to fine leg. Lees produced an excellent drive to the boundary off Harrison. The 50 came as Lees went to 26 in the 21st over. Then the first wicket. Harrison removed Rhodes, bowled him for 24 with the score 56 in that 25th over. This brought in-form Jack Leaning to the crease. He played a couple of useful shots towards lunch. It had been slow going, Yorkshire grinding it out. 68 for 1 at the interval. Leaning is 6, Lees is 30, and that's after 31 overs. Alex Lees got the opening boundary of the second session, a leg side flick off Graham Onions, but in general terms runs were hard to come by on a slow pitch. Lees added some more runs before departing to Onions, caught behind by Richardson for 40. A short interruption followed due to a shower of rain, and upon the resumption Leaning got a single to bring Gale on strike. The skipper survived a caught behind appeal from a Rushworth delivery. Gale then got off the mark with an edge down to firm man, and Leaning hit Onions for a glorious cover drive to the boundary. Leaning was getting into his stride and he pulled Onions to the pavilion for a further 4. Gale then worked Harrison away for a 4 for a mid-wicket, and he hit Hastings to the boundary via square leg. There were some worrying moments still for the batsmen, but Gale and Leaning were finding the boundary a little more. But Leaning then departed, bowled by Harrison for 28 with a score on 124. New batsman Bairstow opened up with a boundary, but then a further wicket as Hastings produced a bouncer which got the edge of Gale's bat, and Collingwood, running backwards, took a one-handed catch behind the wicket area, a splendid effort by the Durham captain. Finch came in and hit Hastings for a cover drive to the boundary, and Bairstow blasted Harrison for a boundary through mid-wicket as he started to use his huge talent to push the score forward. But then another wicket as Hastings won the Battle of the Australians, getting Finch caught at second slip for 10. Yorkshire 152 for 5, Borthwick with the catch. Rashid began with a 4, and Bairstow, in splendid form, cracked back-to-back boundaries. Spinner Pringle came on and bowled a loose over which Rashid took advantage of, getting 8 runs. At tea then, difficult session for the Tykes, 175 for 5, Bairstow's 25, Rashid 14, and 64 overs have been bowled. The final session began with Bairstow hitting a 4 off Harrison to take Yorkshire to 179 for 5. But just as this partnership looked set to flourish, Rashid edged a slip and was caught by Collingwood off Rushworth for 21. Tim Bresnan was next in and he got going with a 4 as Yorkshire closed in on a batting bonus point which they soon brought up. Bresnan produced a fine drive to hit Collingwood for the further boundary, Yorkshire 210 for 6 at this stage. Spinner Borthwick came on and Johnny Bairstow swept him for 4. Bairstow then went to his half-century, his 4th for the season, 73 balls. Bresnan, another player in good form with the bat, continued to pick up runs. The new ball was taken and Bairstow greeted its arrival with a 4 off Onions. Yorkshire continued to hit back well and the 250 came up for a second batting point. With the sun out and 2 in-form batsmen at the crease, the fight back was well and truly on. Frequent boundaries and a greater scoring rate as Durham started to wilt. Tim Breston registered another boundary to go to a 50 with 9 fours, and Bairstow produced a glorious shot to send Hastings to the ropes and go to 89. A third batting point now as well, Yorkshire 303 for 6. Just before the close, a great moment as Bairstow struck a 4 off Collingwood to go to his 100, 14 fours, his third 10 of the season. Bresnan added another 4 as the Tykes roared back into the game. At the close, Bairstow 102 not out, Bresnan with him on 66, the partnership unbeaten worth 138 runs, and Yorkshire have turned this round. It's their day at 329 for 6 from the 96 overs.